than have been killed in combat over that period, many this summer, prompting this angry response from the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee.
Perhaps the greatest harm to our national security and our military is self-inflicted. I repeat, self-inflicted. We are killing more of our own people in training than our enemies are in combat.
And just one day after McCain spoke, another tragedy. A U.S. Army Special Forces soldier, Staff Sergeant Alexander DeLita, was killed during demolition training at the John F. Kennedy Special Warfare School at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. 7 other Special Forces students and instructors were wounded. On Tuesday, a soldier from the Army's 1st Infantry Division, Staff Sergeant Sean DeVoy, was killed during helicopter training at Fort Hood, Texas. 15 Marines were injured Wednesday when their amphibious assault vehicle caught fire. 5 remain in critical condition. 5 others are in serious condition. It's been especially deadly lately. Since June, at least 42 U.S. service members have been killed in non-combat accidents, including the 2 deadly warship collisions in the Pacific, 2 Marine Corps plane crashes, and 2 Army Black Hawk helicopter crashes. McCain and House Armed Services Committee Chairman Mac Thornberry believe U.S. troops are being asked to do too much with too little with aging equipment. And Senator Tom Cotton wants to end the Budget Control Act. He has an amendment which gutted the military, and Senator Cotton wants that over, Leland. And one more thing. Next week, Congress votes on the full defense bill next week. Leland?
Well, big questions in terms of whether more money will solve this. Lucas, you point out it's not just the Army that's had issues. It's the Marines. It's not only the Air Force with their planes, but it's the naval aviators as well. It's the Marine aviators and the Army as well. And then we have the Navy ship crashes to add to this list. Are Pentagon brass worried that at some point heads are going to start to roll and Congress isn't going to demand answers? They're going to demand general officers be fired for this?
Well, Leland, there's a big hearing in the Senate next week. Senator John McCain and the Senate Armed Services Committee is going to be the head of the Navy is going to be testifying in front of the Senate Armed Services Committee to explain answers in the wake of these 2 deadly collisions with these warships. Now, over the past year, my colleague Jennifer Griffin and I have traveled to a number of U.S. military bases, from Fort Campbell in North Carolina to 2 Marine Corps air stations, and what we found was astonishing. 70% of Marine Corps jets today, their strike aircraft, can't fly. In the Navy, about half their strike fighters can't fly. So as Congress looks at the budget, money is only part of the issue. Another part of it is just these are old aircraft flying well beyond their years. For example, in the Air Force, the average age of an Air Force jet is 27 years old. And as most viewers at home would know, they don't drive cars that old. Leland?
Well, oftentimes you have people flying these planes and working on these planes, and the planes are older than they are. Lucas, great reporting. We'll watch for that next week.